This is Newcap News with Kelsea Bloxam.
Good evening. Officers in North Battleford are on the hunt after an armed robbery last night. Just before midnight, two men carrying weapons entered a business on the Highway 16 bypass. The suspects demanded cash but ran away shortly after without any money. Anyone with information is asked to contact the Battleford RCMP or Crime Stoppers. Meantime, Battleford RCMP are also asking for the public's help to find a missing person. Vincent Spyglass was last seen on April 14th hitchhiking in North Battleford. He was picked up and dropped off outside the Battlefords heading towards Lloydminster. Vincent was wearing a leather jacket, jeans, and cowboy boots. He's 42 years old. He can read and write, but he cannot speak. Spyglass has a history of walking away from his residence. If anyone has any information about his disappearance, please call the Battleford RCMP or Crime Stoppers. From spring snow to severe thunderstorms, we've been experiencing some pretty unusual weather lately, and an exciting opportunity arose for people interested in learning a little bit more about this wacky weather. Elise Cox has more.
Weather-curious residents came to listen to Environment Canada meteorologist Dan Kulak's presentation about weather awareness.
Being generally weather aware and weather prepared, and especially as we move into the summer season, looking at the sky, understanding some of the things that we can see with summer storms, identifying those features, and learning how to know that looks bad and this is something that's not quite so bad.
He shared tips on what to watch for in the sky and how to prepare for unusual weather conditions.
And with the summer season, looking at storms and how to understand some of the features in these clouds that develop in the typical Saturday afternoon or Friday afternoon or weekend at the lake, to understand that that one looks a little bit more significant, and I better double check the forecast right now.
Emergency responders also attended so the city could be prepared for possible extreme conditions.
Should an event happen and we need more updated information once we're responding to an incident, Environment Canada would provide us a 3, 6, 9, 12-hour forecast, etc., so that we know what's coming next.
And has also proven to be a useful tool to the community.
I think it's a great tool for the public to be able to come, sit, listen, and if they see something forming in the sky and they're a little bit leery, maybe some of this that they learned today will help them differentiate, should we be concerned with what we're seeing, or no, it's not too bad and we'll be okay.
Elise Cox, Newcap News.
Today is Administrative Professionals Day. It's a chance to thank those who help keep many businesses on track. The Border City celebrated with a luncheon at Harvest to Home, and as Carrie McCullough explains, the event also raised money for a good cause.
The one day that the boss has to let us loose, and when we get back to the office, we get back.
For the annual Administrative Professionals Day, Harvest to Home hosted a luncheon.
We have a chef doing some demonstrations on barbecuing, so they're going to be treated to a little bit of education, hopefully have a little fun and relax and celebrate the hard work that they've accomplished through the year.
We did a fresh pizza margarita, which is a fresh tomato pizza. And then we're also going to do a sort of barbecued strawberry shortcake, so a little twist with some fresh brie and balsamic strawberries to kind of make things a little bit different, more exciting for the summer.
The luncheon also featured Newcap's own Gerard Lampow and Emmett Murphy as ushers, and Lloyd FM's Kirk Price and Heather Clagus as hosts. Half of the proceeds from the event will be going to the local MS Society.
Half of the proceeds from each ticket are going to the MS Society, which is dear to me. So when Kurt suggested that we donate to them, I was right all for it. So.
Harvest to Home was ecstatic to fill their dining room and show the hardworking ladies a good time, all while supporting a good cause.
Well, it's wonderful to have all the hardworking professionals here. Obviously, they deserve a day and a special treat. And we're really happy to be able to support the MS Society. They do really important work in the community.
We love giving back to the community, so just doing this event and having everybody have a taste of our food and a taste of our entertainment room and having fun is what we hope to accomplish.
Carrie McCullough, Newcap News.
Gerard joins us now with a quick look at weather, and there were some pretty cold winds today.
Yeah, those winds are really, well, we spoke about them yesterday, so we knew they were coming, but the actual feeling of them, that's a whole different ball game for sure. Well, across the region, we're running a 30 to 60% chance as well of seeing some rain later on this evening going into tomorrow. Well, on the overnights particularly, we're sitting at our high temperatures as well, but that wind is continuing to try to get friendly with us, let's put it that way, and it is a bit on the chilly side, gusting into the 40s at the moment. The humidity is anywhere from, it's in the 68% at the moment, but it is anywhere from the 60s to the 70s during the course of the afternoon. Overcast conditions right across the region, 7 in the Battlefords, and some rain in the forecast. All the details coming a little later in the cast.
Coming up, local students find answers to their big questions. Details after the break. Even when it ruled the high seas, the Royal Navy wasn't invincible. In the late 1700s and early 1800s, it lost thousands of sailors to sickness in the Caribbean. But exactly why has never been proven. Now, Canadian researchers may be on the verge of finding those answers.
They're small bits from a big time in history, bone fragments of sailors from the Royal Navy at a time when it ruled the Caribbean seas. Many didn't make it back home.
Why did so many sailors and soldiers die in the West Indies? Because it certainly wasn't in any sort of warfare per se or battles.
It's puzzled historians for centuries. Anthropologist Tamara Varney has been working on it for over a decade and may be on the verge of finally proving a long-standing theory.
It has been postulated by some historians that that was facilitated, that high death rate from disease was greatly facilitated by alcoholism and lead poisoning.
Current lead tests haven't worked because when bones are buried, they soak up lead from the ground, contaminating the sample. It's an 18th century mystery locked in a 200-year-old piece of bone. The key to unlocking it may be this 21st century technology. The size of a football field, the Canadian Light Source Synchrotron Particle Accelerator is a giant microscope. Its light rays capable of looking down past the atomic scale.
So this is a bone thin section.
Here researchers are using Varney's bone samples, aiming to pioneer a new technique for finding metal in bone.
Lead does replace for calcium, and so that's why we see the uptake within the bone here.
We have used both, yes.
Bones constantly renew themselves through life. By looking at growth patterns in the fragments, researchers say they should be able to identify the lead absorbed when the bone was alive.
We can link trace elements such as lead from the environment with discrete biological events, which is the key for understanding whether that lead arrived in the bone biologically or in the burial environment.
They'll have to test dozens of more samples before they know for certain, but early results are promising. If the lead theory holds up, it may not only be the end of the mystery of the sailors, it could be the beginning of a whole new branch of anthropology. Cameron McIntosh, CBC News, Saskatoon.
Kids are naturally curious about the world and have a knack for asking questions about everything and anything. Here's how the students at Queen Elizabeth are putting their curiosity to good use.
It's the annual Big Question Fair.
Can technology be used to minimize farming pollution?
What would happen if we ran out of oil?
The grade 5 and 6 students here have created inquiry-based projects, and today is the showcase reveal.
Kids pick a project they're going to be passionate about. They conduct some research, and then part of it is also interviewing an expert in the field.
Presentations were made on a wide variety of topics, from the environment to how things work. The students have to unwrap their topic and find answers on their own.
There's lots of technology that can be used not to pollute the soil and ground.
We aren't huge with oil. We don't use it constantly, like 24/7, but the U.S. does, and I think we're okay, but with all the gas in the air, it is wrecking the environment.
And as for the best part of the whole experience, there seems to be a consensus among the students.
Doing the research and finding out all of the cool research.
Finding the facts, because you have to read in between the lines, and it's really fun. You have to dig deep, and if you can't find something, you have to dig deeper.
A good message there. And spreading messages of acceptance and truth and friendship. Holy Rosary teens are hitting the road to schools in Edmonton, Cold Lake and Bonnyville for the 9th annual Positive Choices Tour. In this week's Beyond the Classroom, Lauren Pullen brings us a behind-the-scenes look.
Far from your ordinary high school production, a monstrous set, professional lights and sound, and a 35-foot trailer to tow it all across Alberta. 43 teens, one united message. It isn't easy being a kid these days, but it isn't hard to make the right choices.
So we're just trying to be positive role models for them. That's what we're trying to do.
The Positive Choices Tour tackles everything from bullying to drugs to what it means to be a true friend. Jimmy Mayo is one of the stars. He knows all too well the troubles kids face growing up.
I kind of went through that when I came into high school from grade 7 because I didn't have many friends, and then it took me a while to find new friends and find out what I thought a true friend was and what wasn't. So I find that kids can really relate to what I go through in the show.
And being relatable is the main reason the tour is so successful.
Kids listen to kids. They hear adults every day and they tune adults out, but kids talking to kids makes such a difference.
It takes a lot of hard work and effort to prepare for a tour of this size. No weekends off and 14-hour days.
Very tiring, but it's worth it in the end.
It's such a good feeling. You feel like a superstar.
It's something worth doing.
And for Jimmy, a message worth spreading.
All the kids know about the problems that they go through, but none of them really know that other kids go through them. They think they're the only ones. So it kind of helps them to see that other kids have those problems too, and that you can have someone to relate to.
Lauren Pullen, Newcap News.
Beyond the Classroom is brought to you by Lakeland College. Lakeland College will celebrate its 100th anniversary in 2013. Learn more about events and activities at lakelandcollege.ca/centennial.
Matt joins us now, and the Red Dogs are back in action on Saturday.
Yeah, they're coming off a big win last week and looking to ride that momentum coming up into the following week on Saturday. Like you said, we got a little preview coming up in sports.